Hello everyone, welcome to today's maths class. So today in 9th standard algebra we are going to discuss chapter 6. So this is the second video of chapter 6. So chapter name is financial planning. So we have already discussed the two topics on this chapter. So we are going to discuss the last section, that is 6.2 of the chapter financial planning. So what all we have discussed in the chapter financial planning? We have discussed income, expenditure and savings, and we have also seen how to find the percentage of the expenditure or percentage of the profits or loss made, and we know to compare between the 2% profit or loss. So those we have seen in the earlier section. So in this section we are going to see about income tax. The government makes many plans for the development of the country. It requires large amount of money for implementing these schemes. So the government is making many plans for the development of country, and how they are finding the fund for all development of the country means building roads, constructions, bridges, for water, so electricity, so for all purpose where the government gets the fund, that means the money for all the working of the government offices, so everything. So it requires large amount of money for implementing these schemes. So by charging different types of taxes on the people, that means us, the funds are generated for implementation of these schemes. So we know there are a large number of schemes in education scheme, food schemes, so or travel, train, so for everything the government is charging tax and funds, and it is collected from the people. So what is income tax? If the income earned in India by an individual, so the income earned by a citizen of India, institute or authorized industry, so it may be a individual or an institute or an industry, authorized industry exceeds the limit specified under the Income Tax Act, income tax is levied on it. So if the income earned by a person of who lives in India, or if it is not it is not only a person, it may be an institute or an industry, it exceeds the limit which the government said in the Income Tax Act, then the income tax is charged from that person or institute or industry. So income tax means if the amount, incomes or salary of a person or exceeds the limit said in the Income Tax Act, then a specified percentage of tax is collected from that person. So now we have to see some terms in the income tax related. So what is an assessee? Any person liable to pay income tax according to the income tax rule is called an assessee. So any person who is liable means who has to be responsible to pay income tax is called an assessee. Then financial year, the period of 1 year during the taxable income has been earned is called a financial year. So how we are calculating the income? So based on a time period, we know we need a one period of 1 year to calculate the income tax. So in our country at present the financial year starts from 1st April to 31st March. So in a span of 1 year, the income tax is on basis of 1 year income tax is calculated, and when it is calculated, after that 1 year it is calculated. So that period of 1 year during which income tax has been earned is called the financial year. And an assessment year, the financial year immediately following a particular financial year is called the assessment year. So the year in which income has been earned is called the financial year, that means from 1st April to 31st March, and the assessment year means the following year, means the year in which the income tax is calculated and paid. The next year after the financial year is called the assessment year. Tax payable for the previous financial year is calculated during the current year, that is the assessment. So assessment year means the current year where the tax we need to pay for the previous year is calculated. So here you can see an example is given, financial year and assessment year. So 2016 to 17, that is from 1st April 1 for 2016 means 1st April 2016 to 31st March 2017. So it is a span of 1 year, financial year. So its assessment year will be 2017-18, means the following year 17-18, and again financial year 17-18. So its assessment year will be 18-19. Next is PAN. So you have seen PAN card. So our parents taking a PAN card. You have heard it, the word PAN card. So what is the expansion of PAN, permanent account number? So on applying for it, so we have heard that our parents will apply for PAN card, etc., or elderly people, all of them will apply for PAN card. Every tax payer gets a unique 10-digit alphanumeric number from the income tax department. So what is the PAN? PAN means permanent account number. So how they get that account number? So every taxpayer get a 10-digit unique, means every person will have their own 10-digit alphanumeric, means alphabets, also the combination of alphabets and numbers. From the income tax department they get the unique identity. Identity means a number they will get, alphanumeric number they will get. So that is PAN, and we are required to mention this number in any important documents and financial transactions. So in any of the government offices when we go there, so when filling the form there will be column asking if you have a PAN card, then please write the number. So we will have to mention the PAN card number there. And what is the purpose of the PAN? Use of the PAN, it is binding to write our PAN on the challan used for paying our income tax to the IT department. So while paying if we are a taxpayer in our house, then we need to write our PAN number on the challan in which we pay the income tax to the IT department, or our income tax returns and other official correspondence. So for other official transactions, financial purposes, PAN card number is required. PAN card can also be used as a proof of identity. So PAN card is also can be used as proof of identity like Aadhaar card. So next we are going to the income tax. How the income tax is categorized to different people upon their age. So first table is the individuals up to the age of 60 years, means individuals below the age of 60 years, their income tax is given in this table. So what all are given? So first column is for the tax income slabs. So all these are called as slabs, means each row is called as slabs. So the income tax means this will be our income. So up to 2,50,000 if our income, if our father's or our family's income is up to 2,50,000, or it is between 2,50,000 and 5 lakh, or if it is between 5 lakh to 10 lakh, or if it is more than 10 lakh. So these are the categories of income. And next is the income tax. So based on our income, the income tax is given. So for up to 2,50,000 there is no income tax or education cess or higher secondary education cess. So for up to 2.5 lakh there is no any taxes or education cess. And between 2 lakh and 5 lakh, if our father's income or our elders income is between 2.5, means 2,50,000 to 5 lakh. For example, if I say my income is between is 3 lakh, then I will have to pay this much amount of tax, that is income tax as 5%, and as educational cess I will have to pay 2% of the income tax, and for higher secondary education cess I will have to pay 1%. And if my salary or income is in between 5 lakh and 1, means up to 5 lakh we will have to pay this much tax, and after 5 lakh means 5 lakh 1 rupees to 10 lakh I will have to pay income tax as rupees 12,500 plus 20% of the taxable income minus 5 lakh. So up to 5 lakh we need to only pay this much tax. So we will have to minus that 5 lakh from our salary, and for the rest of the money we will have to pay 20%, and educational cess 2%, and higher educational 1%, and if more than 10 lakh it will be 1,12,500. So if my income is more than 10 lakh, then I will have to pay this much amount as income tax, and also I will have to pay 30% of the remaining amount, means up to 10 lakh I will have to pay this much amount. So this 10 lakh will be subtracted from, and for rest of the money I will have to pay 30% of that money as income tax. So when the salary becomes more, we will have to pay more income tax, and also 2% educational cess and 1% higher secondary educational cess. So next is the category of senior citizens. So senior citizens between the age group of 60 to 80 years, so their income tax table is this. So if their income tax is if their salary is up to 3 lakh, then they don't have to pay any tax, and if their salary is above 3 lakh, means from 3 lakh and 1 rupees is from that onwards to till 5 lakh. So in between this their salary is there, income is there, then they will have to, senior citizen will have to pay income tax 5%, educational cess and higher secondary. And same way, if it is between 5 lakh and 1 rupees to 10 lakh, they will have to pay 10,000 rupees plus 20 rupees for the additional incomes. So like this way. So we will have to by heart the values, means the percentages of we have to check in the problem. So while checking in the problem, we have to find in which category. We will have to first check their age, and we will have to decide which table they belong. So in that table where their income slab will be there. So if we know their income is between which amount, so according to that we will have to calculate their income tax. So for that we will have to by heart the tax percentages, etc. So this is super senior citizens, means their age will be between it is above 80 years. So super senior citizens above 80 years, so up to 5 lakh they don't have to pay any tax, and if their income is between 5 lakh 1 rupees till 10 lakhs, they will have to pay 20% tax and 2 and 1% as educational cess. And if it is more than 10 lakh super senior citizens, they will have to pay 1 lakh rupees as the income tax and 30% for the additional amount, and 2 and 1% as educational cess. So you will have to remember the percentage of income tax and also this category slabs, different slabs, and the educational and higher educational cess is constant values, that is 2 and 1%. So that will be easy to remember, but this and this table you will have to concentrate and learn it. So now we are going to the practice set 6.2. So this is a table, we will have to fill it. So observe the table given below, check and decide whether the individual have to pay income tax. So here individual's age is given, also their income is given. So we will have to check. So we have seen the table, according to the age we have seen 3 tables. So from the table, from taking their salary, we will have to decide whether they have to pay income tax or not. So the first one is Nikita. So the age is 27. So age 27 means below 60 years. So she will be in table 1, and also her salary is 2,34,000. So we can go to table 1 since her age is 27. That means, so this is the table 1 for individuals up to the age of 60, means below 60 years. So her income is 3,34,000. Sorry, 2,34,000 is her income. So she will be in the second slab, means this value will be between these two values. So she will have to pay income tax 5% and also educational and higher educational. So she will be in the second slab, slab 2 of table 1. That means she will have to pay the tax. So we have to mention it in the table that yes, she will have to pay. yes, will have to, you have to write in sentence, will have to pay the income tax. We can go to the next. Mr. Kulkarni, age is 36. So he is also below 60, so will be in the table 1, and his income is 3,27,000. So Kulkarni is in the table 1 since his age is below 60 years and his income 3,27,000. So 3,27,000. So he will be in the which slab? He also will be in the second slab since 3 lakh lies between 2.5 lakh and 5 lakh. So Kulkarni is in the second slab of table 1. Second slab means this row, second row. First row is this and second row is this, third row, fourth row. So he is in the second row means slab. So he is in the second slab and he also have to pay the income tax 5%. So we have to mention in the table. So we will have to write yes, will have to pay the tax. And the next is Miss Mehta, age is 44. So he will also, it will be in the table 1 and his income is 5,82,000. So 5,82,000 will be in the third slab. So he will have to pay this much amount and also 20% of the remaining value, extra values he will have to pay that much, 20% of the income. And next is Mr. Bajaj. Mr. Bajaj age is 64. 64 means above 60 years. So he will be in the second table and his income is 8,40,000. So his he will be in the second table. Since his age is 64 means up to age 60, age to senior citizen, 60 to 80 years, the table is the second table. So his income is 8,40,000. So 8,40,000 will be between 5 lakh and 10 lakh. So he will be in the third, 1, 2, 3, third slab. He will be have to pay. He will be in the third slab. So he have to pay 10,000 rupees as income and also 20% of the extra amount than 5 lakh. So yes, Mr. Bajaj will also have to pay the tax. And last is Mr. De Silva. His age is 81 and his income is 4,50,000. So since his age is 81, he will be in the third table. So in third table he will be there and his income is 4,50,000. So up to 5 lakh the super senior citizens don't have to pay any tax. So his income is below 5 lakh. 4,50,000 is his income, so he don't have to pay the income tax. So now we are going to the solved example. So this is the problem 1. So what is the question? Mr. Mehatre is 50 years old, means he is below 60 years. So his case will be in table 1. His gross total income is 12 lakh rupees is his income and he has invested in the following amounts in different schemes. So his income is 12 lakh rupees. So he have a very large income, but he has invested in the following amounts in different schemes. So he have invested in insurance premium 90,000 rupees and in provident fund means PF he has invested 25,000 and in PPF he have invested 15,000 and in national savings certificate. So in national savings certificate means savings he have invested 20,000. So this much money he have invested in different schemes and we have to find the deductions, permissible deduction, taxable income means the amount he have to pay as tax and also the income tax payable. So before discussing that problem we have to see what are deductions. So what are deductions? So the total annual income is taken into account for calculating the tax payable and according to the section. So 3 sections are there for the income tax act. So section 80C, 80D and 80G. So the 3 sections are there. So according to these 3 sections, some schemes, that is income tax acted and deduction can be available from the total availed from the total annual income. So from the total annual income, by using the three sections, that is 80C, 80D and 80G. These are just the numbers of the sections, means the numbers of the sections of the Income Tax Act. So what is said in the those sections, three sections of the Income Tax Act. So the farmer's income from agricultural produce is exempt from taxation, means farmer doesn't need to pay the tax for the income he gained from agricultural produce. And no tax is levied up to a certain limit of taxable income. This is called the basic exemption limit. So some deductions are given to the income tax. If we put like you can see in the example, if we invested in the provident fund or mutual fund, or we from our income housing loan is deduced, or for tuition fees for the public provident or health insurance, LICs, life insurance policies, so National Savings Scheme and the Investment Post Department for 5 years. So for and also Suganya Samriddhi scheme for girls. So for all this purpose, if we invest in these purposes, then we don't have to pay the tax on these investments. Means if we have a high income also and we have to pay invest in all the some of these schemes, then we don't have to pay for the investments. That is our investment, like if we are paying tuition fees of 2 children, and PPF and GPF we are paying, also housing loan we are paying every month some amounts, also mutual funds are there. So for all that we don't have to pay the tax. So deductions are there. So these deductions are mentioned in the section 80G, 80D and 80C of the Income Tax Act. So under the section 80G of IT Act, donation to the Prime Minister's Relief Fund. So what is it? Donation to Prime Minister's Relief Fund, or Chief Minister's Relief Fund, and certain other donation recognized to institution, organization exempt from taxation. So when we pay donations to PM's Relief Fund or the CM's Relief Fund, then we don't have to pay any tax on that donations. And all that is said in the section, which section? 80G section. Now we are going to the 80D section. So what is said? The installment of premium for health insurance like LICs or something are exempt from taxation. So if we are investing, means every month we are paying some amount to the life insurance or something like that, so we don't have to pay tax on that amount also. This is said in the section 80D. And in 80C what is said? Generally the maximum permissible deduction to various kinds of savings, means you can see different savings schemes are there, like for girls, Suganya Samriddhi schemes for girls, Provident Fund. This Provident Fund is, you can see that our parents pay certain amount, small amount every month from our salary, so that we can use it at the time of our after we get after 60 years we can use that amount, or after some years. Also PPF, Public Provident Fund, and also savings schemes are there, National Savings Certificate Scheme. So for all these savings scheme also we don't have to pay any tax. So that is said in the section 80C. 80C that is said. So these are the deductions on the tax. So now we can go to the problem. So Mr. Mahatre, 50 years old, and his income is 12 lakh, and he had made so many investments. So what all are his investment? Insurance premium, PPF, Provident Fund, and investment in Provident Fund and a National Savings Scheme. So for all this he doesn't need to pay any tax. So we will have to deduct this much amount from his income. So we will have to add all this amount, and we have to subtract from his total income from, and after subtracting, reducing all this investment, we will get his actual income, his income. We will get an income, taxable income we will get. So after getting the taxable income, we will have to pay the we will have to calculate the tax he has to pay for that taxable income. So before that we have to go through the steps of solving this type of problem. So we can see that. So for solving this type of problem, means calculating the income tax, were given so many investments, we will have to find this much steps first that you will have to learn. So it will be easy to solve this problem. Total income, total savings, then taxable income, then we will have to find from which table according to the age he have to pay the tax, and we will have to calculate the educational cess, higher education cess. Then we have to subtract everything from the we will have to add all the taxes. So we will get all the educational cess and tax, income tax. So adding all this, we will get the total income tax amount. So these all sections, means these all we have to find. So you have to follow this format. So for that you will have to learn this format, that is total income, then total savings, then taxable income, then table, from which table we have to decide according to the age, then the educational cess we have to calculate, then we will have to add all the taxes, then we will get the total income tax. So we can look the problem. So what is given? We have to first find the total income of Mr. Mahatre. So his gross total income is rupees 12 lakhs. So we can write it. So total income is equal to rupees 12 lakh. So this is his total income. Now the next is we have to find the total savings. So it is given that he have invested in different schemes. So all these schemes savings we have to mention in the table, and we will have to find the total. So before that we have to mention which all sections are there. So savings and the amount of savings we have to write in separate. So first saving is insurance premium. So we will write that. So the first one is insurance premium. So how much amount he has invested? 90,000 he have invested in insurance. Next is the investment in provident fund, 25,000. So we will write the second as provident fund, and the amount is 25,000 rupees. Next is the investment in PPF, 15,000. So we will write that 15,000 in PPF, and the last is National Savings Certificate, 20,000. So we will have to write that. National Savings Certificate, he invested 20,000. So now we have to find the total of all the investments. So it will be like 3 zeros, 1,50,000. So 1,50,000 is his total savings, and according to the which section 80D, 80C and G, 80G. So all these deduction sections in the Income Tax Act, one person doesn't need to pay the income tax for all his savings, means all his investment like insurance, educational or PF, provident funds or savings. He don't have to pay the tax. That means for this much amount, 1,50,000 from his total income is 12 lakhs. So we will have to subtract this much amount from his income, since he don't have to pay tax for his investment. So we are going to find the taxable income, means from actual income. So his actual income is 12 lakh rupees, 5 zeros, 12 lakh. We have to subtract 1,50,000 since 1,50,000 is his savings or insurance or provident fund, so that he doesn't need to pay the income tax. So we are subtracting it from the total income tax. So 12 lakh minus 1,50,000. So answer will be 10,50,000. So 10,50,000 is the taxable income of Mr. Mahatre. Now we have to find in which table, income tax table he belong according to his age. So in the question given that Mahatre is the age of 50 years, so he is below 60 years, so he will be in the table 1 of the income tax sections. So we can look at the table 1, that is below 60 years. So this is the first table for individual who is below 60 years. So Mahatre is only 50 years, so he is in the first table, and his income is rupees 10 lakh 50,000 is his income. So he will be in which slab? So 10 lakh 50,000 is his income, so he will be in the fourth slab, more than 10 lakh. His income is 10 lakh 50,000. His income is 10 lakh 50,000, so he will be in the more than 10 lakh category, that is the fourth section, that is fourth slab of the table 1. That is, he will have to pay this much amount, that is 1,12,500 plus 30% of the deduced value, means 10 lakh we will have to minus on taxable income minus 10 lakhs. For 10 lakh he will have to pay this much amount only, so we will have to minus 10 lakh from this amount. So when we subtract this amount minus 10 lakh, only 50,000, so we will have to pay 30% of 50,000. So that much amount he will have to pay as income tax, and also 2% and 1% as educational cess. So we can go to the problem. So we can write that from table 1, the income taxes is in the slab more than 10 lakh. So since his income, you can see in taxable income is 10 lakh 50,000, so he will be in the slab more than 10 lakh of the table 1. Sorry for zeros. And now we can write his income tax. So his income tax is you can see like it is written in the table 1,12,500 plus 30% of the value subtracted. That is, since it is more than 10,000, he don't have to pay the income up to 10 lakh. So we will have to minus that much amount from the taxable income. So taxable income is this much amount, and up to 10 lakh he don't have to pay the tax. That means more than 10 lakh he have to pay it, up to 10 lakh he will be paying this much amount, that is 1,12,500. This much amount is for 10 lakh rupees tax, and the 30% tax is amount more than 10 lakh. So we will have to find that amount more than 10 lakh. So for that we will have to minus the actual amount, that is 10 lakh 50,000 minus 10 lakh. So we will get the amount more than 10 lakh. So that values 30% also he have to pay the tax. That is, his income tax will be calculated as like this. So this much 1,12,000, the first amount is for 10 lakh, and the 30% is for the value more than 10 lakh. So more than 10 lakh, so we will calculate it. That's 1,12,500 plus 30%, means 30 by 100 into the 10 lakh 50,000 minus 10 lakh will be 50,000. So 30% of rupees 50,000 he need to pay, since till 10 lakh he have to pay this much amount, and more than 10 lakh, that is for the rest 50,000 he have to pay 30%. So that we will find. So 1,12,500 plus 30, so 10 will be cancelled, and here also 1 0 will be cancelled. Now it is 3 into 5,000. So 3 into 5,000 is 15,000. So 15,000 plus 1,12,500, so it will be 1,27,500. So the 1,27,500 is his actual income tax, and the rest he have to pay the 2 educational cesses, educational cess and higher education cess. So we have seen in the table that educational cess is 2% of the taxable income, that is 2% of taxable income. Here you can see the taxable income is 10,50,000. So 2%. Sorry, we have to find the 2% of not taxable income. We have to pay the 2% of the income tax. So I am writing that step here. 2% of the income tax. So what is the income tax here? So 2% means 2 by 100 into income tax. You can see the income tax is 1,27,500. So 2% of 1,27,500. So 0 will be cancelled. 2 into 1,275. So the answer is rupees 2,550. 2,550. This is the educational cess Mr. Mahatre have to pay. Now the higher education cess. So higher education cess is the 1% of the income tax. 1% of the income tax means 1 by 100 into what is the educational tax? This is 1% of the income tax. So what is the income tax here? 1,27,500. So 1 by 100 into 1,27,500. Same as the education. So these two steps will be same, only the percentage is different. Here 1%, here 2%. So zeros will be cancelled. So 1 into 1,275. So it will be 1,275 rupees. So we have found all the educational cess and also the income tax. Now we will get the total income when adding all this. So we can do that. Total income tax is equal to, first the income tax. Actual income tax is 127,500 plus 2,550. That is the educational cess. So it is educational cess. So it is rupees 2,550. Next is the higher education cess, that is plus 1,275. So adding this we will get the total income tax he have to pay at the end, 1,31,325. So this much rupees he have to pay as income tax. So this is the Mahatre's income tax. So this is the next question. This question is from practice set 6.2, second question. So same way like we do in Mr. Mahatre's case, we will solve this problem also. So here Mr. Kartar Singh, age 48 years. So we know that 48 years means below 60. Table 1, works in a private company. His monthly income after deduction is 42,000. And every month he contribute 3,000 to GPF. GPF means Provident Fund. So for that he don't need to pay income tax. So we will have to subtract that from. And also he NSC. So National Savings Certificate also he pays 15,000. Means he is saving that much money. And also he donated to PM's Relief Fund 12,000 rupees. So for relief fund, for savings schemes, and also for the provident fund, all this he one person doesn't need to pay the income tax according to the sections, Income Tax Act sections. So we can solve the problem. So we have to follow the same steps as in the last problem. So we can go to the problem. So these all we have to find same steps as we will have to first write the total income, then the deductions and savings we will have to add, and we will have to find the taxable income. That means we will have to add this amount, and we will have to subtract it from the total income. Then we will have to find according to his age which table he belongs to. Then we can calculate the income tax of that person, then educational cess, then finally we will get the actual total income tax amount he is payable. So his total income is rupees 42,000. So this is his total income. This is not his total income, it is given that his monthly income is given as 42,000. So we will have to find it for 1 year, means into 12 we will have to do. So 42,000 into 12. So it will be 504000. So 5 lakh 4,000. So this is his total income. Now we can look what all savings and deductions he have. So savings and deduction we can write in this column, and the amount we can here, and also we will calculate the total here. So first what he have contributed, he contributed 3,000 to GPF, gross provident fund. So we will mention that first. So GPF he paid rupees 3,000. What is next? He also bought 15,000 to NSC, National Savings Certificate. So we will write that. So NSC rupees 15,000 he paid. And what is next? Also he donated 12,000 to PM's relief fund. So that is donation he have done. So we will write it as PM's relief fund. He donated 12,000 rupees. Now we will find the total of this. So adding all this we will get that 50. Sorry, here also a mistake is there. For the GPS we have to read the question carefully, that every month he contributed 3,000 to GPF. So every month he contributed. So this is only 1 month is 3,000. So for 1 year we will have to multiply it also with 12. So this is there is a chance of mistake there. So we have to read the question carefully. 3,000 into 12. So what is it? It will be 36,000. It will be 36,000. So now we have to add 36,000, 15,000 and 12,000. So we will get it as 63,000. So we get the total as, when we add 36,000, 15,000, 12,000, and we will get 63,000. So this is a deduction and savings. So for that he doesn't need to pay any income tax, since this will come in the sections 18C, 18G, 80C, 80G and 80D of the Income Tax Act. So for savings and relief fund donations, one person doesn't need to pay the income tax. So I will have to subtract 63,000 from his total income. So taxable income is, the actual total income is 504,000. You can see here the total income is 504,000 minus 63,000. So 504,000 minus 63,000. So the answer will be 000 then 144. So for it will be, the amount is this much, 4,41,000 rupees is the taxable income. So only to 4,41,000 he have to pay tax, and the rest his income is deduced as deductions and savings. Now we can decide in which table he belongs to. So we for that we need to check what is his age. His age is 48 years, means below 60 years. So he will be in the table 1. So the person is in table 1 since his age is below 60 years. 48 is his age, 8 years is his age, and his income is 4,41,000. 4,41,000 means he will be in the which slab he will be there. So he will be between this amount, 4,41,000 means he will be between 2,51,001 and to 5 lakh. So he will be in the second slab. This is slab of the income tax table 1, and he have to pay income tax 5%, 2% education cess and 1% higher education cess. So only 5% income tax of his actual total, his taxable incomes, 5% he have to pay as income tax. So we will go to the problem. So here we will write that from table number 1 we will write the income tax. So from table 1 his income tax is in the slab rupees 2,50,001 to 5 lakh. So in this slab his income tax category lies. So his income tax will be, we will write it here, income tax is 5% of the taxable income. So his taxable income is this. So 5% of. So for 4,41,000, this is his taxable income, but he don't have to pay the income 5% of, means he don't have to pay the tax on this much amount. He only have to pay tax on that much amount, that is about this 2,50,001. So for that we will have to subtract his taxable income, that is 4,41,000 minus 2,50,000. That is, since up to 2,50,000, that in table 1 that person doesn't need to pay any tax, it is mentioned as nil. And from 50,000 once to till 5 lakh, from 2,50,001 till 5 lakh the person has to pay tax. That means for the amount greater than this 2,50,000 only, he have to pay the income tax as 5%. So we are finding the amount which is above 2,50,000. For that we will have to subtract from his taxable income 2,50,000. So 5% means 5 by 100 of, when we subtract the two values, these two values, we will get it as 191,000. So 5 by 100 into 191,000. So the hundreds will be cancelled here. So 5 into 191,000, it will be 9,550. So this is his income tax. Now we will have to find the educational cess and higher educational cess. So we know that the educational cess is the 2% of the income tax. So educational cess is equal to 2% of the income tax, that is 2 by 100 into income tax. What is his income tax? 9,550. So for 955 divided by 5, so the answer is 995.5. So it is higher education cess. The when we divide 955 by 5, it will be 191. So this is the educational cess. Now higher educational cess is the 1% of the income tax. So 1% means 1 by 100 into 9,550. So 0 will be cancelled. Now 10 divided by 955, it is rupees 95.5. So 95.5 is a higher education cess. Now we have to find the total income tax, means we will have to add the income tax, educational cess. So income tax is 9,550 plus 191 plus 95.5. So adding all this, we will get it as 9,836.50 rupees. So this is the in total income has this person has to pay. Mr. Khattar Singh has to pay this much amount as his income tax, 9,836.50.